Yeah? So let me continue documenting people. Yeah? Here it is. Matcham, Faith Matcham, sent 19 June 2018 to Merville Myers. Subject radar film. Dear Merville, I hope you are well. I just wanted to let you know that the radar film is now available to view. So I wanted to send you the link. https://youtube.com watch whatever. Yeah? Unfortunately, there were so many perspectives and voices to include. They weren't able to include your actual interview, but there are some lovely shots of you using the technology. I hope you are happy with the final product. Thank you, Faith. Dr. Faith Matcham. Yeah, there it is. The lady, what's her name? Katie White said I could use my whatever as podcast. How many? 6 years later, she's finished her PhD, and I know I am a criminal needing emotional regulation treatment. We shall see. Yeah? So see, I went online and I found something. Murder analyzed. The Angela Whitson case, 2014, murdered by 13 and 14 years old. Angela's Law, vulnerable 39 people. Police come to my house 2 times. Home invasion, extortion, criminal liability, civil, mental health, multiple agencies, Helen's Law. Yeah? I sit down in here how many years? Yeah? So when I say to people, I don't do one. It's my OCD. It's how I cope. I have to have more than one. I have 2 glasses. Now I have 3 pairs of glasses. Yeah? So since you want to know, yeah, this is my medical report. Because at the preliminary hearing or whichever, can't remember her name now, is a lady, said I must get a medical report from which date to which date. Yeah? So here it is. I made up disabilities, did I? Consultations all between 1st October 2014 and 27th of September 2015. That's when I resigned with the second nervous breakdown. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to show you. Yeah? Diabetic retinopathic screening. Diabetes administration. Stress at work. Yeah? Did I make up disabilities? And now they GP, Pennock or whatever fill the medical form wrong and what they done me the past whatever. Yeah? Pain, time off for stress. Yeah? I'm just reading what I highlighted here. Somebody must take responsibility for 8 years of what's happened to me. Diabetic, on diet only. Diabetic, good control. Diary entry, diabetes mellitus. Left diabetic foot at low risk. Right diabetic foot at low risk. Problem history, stress at work, anxiety / poor, sleep low, mood all due to problems at work. Feels well when not working, known whatever. Yeah, known during whatever mood variation / suicidal intent, hallucinations, paranoid ideas, good insight, cognition, no weight loss, denies illicit drugs, alcohol. Yeah, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't even hardly take medication if I don't have to. Slightly anxious, well kept, good eye contact, normal speech, thought, cognition. I don't know whatever. Blood pressure reading, whatever. Huh? Whatever. You come tell me I made up disabilities. That pervert Judge Freya and pervert pedophile shanks. Yeah? Let Samantha Jones argue the case of Parkinson's when I cannot claim Parkinson's as a disability. I do not have a medical diagnosis. To see nurse for food strike assessor, self-advised self-care for first week. See this one, diabetic follow-up default. I me make up disabilities? Well, we're going to see who make up disabilities. Perverts at the Judiciary of England and Wales and criminal justice system. So this was the short thing that I got, and then they put in order in that I must get from that date to that date. Yeah? Here's another one. I keep everything. 2014. That's after I came back from Jamaica and I was targeted. Stress. Talking therapies. Rest of it not there. But I have this in here. To whom it may concern. Mrs. Myers attended 12 counseling sessions at Talking Therapist Suddock. She was referred to our service to receive treatment for depression, which had occurred following a stressful period at work. Mrs. Myers told me she had suffered with chronic anxiety since she was a child. She said she had learned to manage the anxiety, but it did sometimes affect her ability to write, as she has a tremor in her hand. However, Mrs. Myers said this had not affected her work life. She said she had been able to manage it, and this was evidenced by her long employment history with the company 5 years prior to this recent incident. Mrs. Myers' depression seems to have arisen in the context of a difficult period at work. She said she felt unfairly treated and she could not understand how her colleagues had come to form their opinions about her. Mrs. Myers had found this experience to be extremely distressing and eventually resigned from her job as she felt she had no alternative. Following the loss of her job, Mrs. Myers became increasingly depressed and she told me she had found it difficult to take care of herself. This has left Mrs. Myers with low confidence, particularly in her work life. Mrs. Myers is fearful of going back into work as she is anxious about being mistreated and going through a similar situation again. When she was first referred to the service, her scores on the questionnaires measuring depression and anxiety were indicative of severe depression and anxiety. Over the course of treatment, we explored the impact of Mrs. Myers' work situation and how it had affected her. We explored the impact of this situation on her marriage, where Mrs. Myers found it hard to cope as a result of being overwhelmed by the difficulties in her work life. Mrs. Myers also said this had affected some of her friendships. Mrs. Myers said her family were her main support, but this was her only over the telephone due to the distance between them. As a result of this difficult work situation, Mrs. Myers understandably struggled to cope with life. However, she has been committed to working through her difficulty and has made, I don't know what the end is, probably improvement or something. It's cut off somewhere. Now my family has abandoned me. My brother declared me mad. My sons, nobody. Sometimes I'm in here. I can no longer call for support from the police, from the ambulance service, because if I call for help, they send police come here to try and trick me to come out of here so they can section me. So I have no say in whatever. I went and I read the Mental Health Act and I know exactly what they're up to. So they can't fool me. They can fool somebody else. Not me. I'm not that gone. Not to know when I'm being tricked. So this is the letter. Every time they can't give me medical report. And that's why Nexus Group now started treating me like crap. But everything is on record. 2nd of December 2020. Consultation text. Telephone consultation, Decima Street, Richard Holder, doctor. History reports police came to her house and assaulted her on Monday. She was arrested and taken into custody. Reports sustaining bruises around the wrist with some pain. No residual pain except for location of bruises. No numbness or weakness in limbs. No joint swelling. Has history of knee and wrist OA. Both were exacerbated by handling during arrest but symptoms settling down. No pain in movement of wrist or knees at present. Asking for medical report and advice on complaining to police. I never asked for any advice on complaining to police. Patient reports full range of motion, images reviewed, minimal bruising, appearances consistent with minor injuries. Explained I can document her reported symptoms and manage symptoms if needed, but that would be the limit of a medical report offered via offered video consult. However, Merville felt not needed at present. I don't know what that means to send images which can be put in the medical records. If worsening pain, stiffness, swelling, to contact us. Yours sincerely, Richard Holder. That's all I get all my life. The one in 2008. I didn't get a medical report. And this is what I must do. Well, let's do it then. It's World Mental Health Day. All who condemn me to death, I will stay in here and document. So later I go to Bird Legs and hopefully I can get a bigger